here. Nobody's supposed to be. Wait, y'all supposed to be here. Wait, don't say nobody supposed to be here. Come on, BeMo. One more time. What? How did you get here? Everybody supposed to smoke here. You tried that morning show thing for the last time. What else you say after that?
My heart says no.
Your heart says smoke, smoke. You know you want some BeMo. You tried those other IG live shows. That's all I got, sweetheart. Is Deborah Cox considered a one-hit wonder? No. She got another joint, right? We can't be friends 'cause I'm still smoking with you. Let's start the show, sweetheart. Let's get it popping. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Wake and Bake. We Tuesday and Thursday, 8 a.m.-ish. Smoke you a blunt, let's get high in this bitch. Wake and Bake with BeMo. Yeah. Welcome back to another episode, y'all. Make sure we're saying good morning to the drum roll of my life, to the ISO lens under 500, keep me in framed portion body of my camera. Let's make sure you're saying good morning to the lady of the house. Good morning, lady of the house.
Good morning, sweetheart.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah? Just okay?
Yeah.
All right, for sure.
Yeah, huh?
For sure.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
Okay, for sure.
How you doing?
I'm all right. We had a Memorial Day weekend, and like every other weekend, we didn't do not a goddamn thing.
Well,
we did some things.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. That's absolutely right. We're absolutely going to talk about them. We have some cool people on the line already. So we got Marissa on the line. Good morning, mama. How you feeling this morning? We got Kramer on the line.
Yeah,
Kramer.
Hey.
What's up? How you doing? It's early in California. Good gracious, man. Right. It's like, well,
5
you know.
o'clock.
Hey, man. Early morning, late nights, that's your business. That ain't my business. That's your business. As always, we want to thank the good folks over at the Washington Informer Bridge, WIBridgeDC.com to check out the most latest news from Black DC, or all of DC, to be honest with you, or at WIBridgeDC on all social media platforms. They are our lovely sponsors and contributors to the show. Where would we be without the Washington Informer? Where would I be without the Washington Informer Bridge? So we want to thank them like we do every morning. There they go right there. You can see the playing with it. Anyway, thank you to the Washington Informer Bridge. We had some very interesting things we want to talk about this morning. Oh, and to my man Mingo this morning. I got the sweatshirt on. What's
Ernesto.
up? Huh? Ernesto Valdez. Good morning to you. Make sure we're saying good morning to the house now. Good morning to the house. Good morning to the lady of the house now. All right, I'm not going to be having all this rigmarole, and we got people on here listening and commenting and not saying nothing to the not saying good morning to the lady of the house. Got a little fast mouth this morning. Let me slow it down just a tad. Slow-mo this morning. No, we have some great things we want to talk about this morning. We want to follow up on a conversation that we've been having about how we have made the greatest racial discovery this side of 1905 right here on Wake and Bake with BeMo. We might follow up on that later on in the C section. We want to talk about some memorials that we went over, a memorial we went over to this weekend, and reminded me how much I don't want to live with white folks. But first, there's something I've been wanting to talk to the Wake and Bake with BeMo nights about.
America.
America, America. There's something we need to talk about. There is a theory.
Okay.
The name of the theory is Afro-Pessimism. Mm-hmm. Now, I feel like by saying the words theory and then Afro-Pessimism, a lot of people have rolled their eyes. A lot of people are like, oh my God, we're going to do some academics this morning. I'm going to try to explain this in a way that's not dry, that is very becoming of our morning show, something that helps bridge the gap between stupidity and liberation. Nothing wrong with being stupid, by the way. You just got to find the solutions to do so. I want to talk about Afro-Pessimism, and I'm going to do something dangerous, sweetheart.
Okay.
I hope we don't lose half the audience by doing so. I'm going to pick up a book. A book. See how it's greasy on the outside? That means my hand's been on there while I was freshly moisturized. This morning, I want to talk to you about a theory from Frank B. Wilderson, which also comes from Black feminist thought as well. It's called Afro-Pessimism. And the reason why I want to talk about Afro-Pessimism, for the last year and some change, we've been stuck on radical racelessness, which is easy to think about because it's like, oh, it's radical and we have no race. Mm-hmm. The season 4 of Wake and Bake with BeMo, we have been trying to investigate exactly what black is. First, we attacked whiteness to figure out what whiteness is. We even tried to find the white N-word, in which we did. Definitely go check out the last episode of Wake and Bake with BeMo for that. Greatest racial discovery in the last 127 years. But there is another lens that we can look at race, and it's called Afro-Pessimism. Now, sweetheart, put up the quote, and let's read the quote out loud. I don't know if you can read it. It might be a little small. There you go.
Okay. Afro-pessimism is a lens of interpretation that accounts for civil society's dependence on anti-black violence.
Got that?
Yeah.
Everybody got that? Afro-pessimism is a lens. Mm-hmm. It's not your eyeballs. It means you can take it off and put it back on. Take it off, put it back on. Keep going, sweetheart.
A regime of violence that positions black people as internal enemies of civil society.
Now, as an example of one of those regimes, we could say capitalism, a regime of violence. That means there is a group of people who are siphoning resources from the lower class. Keep going.
The claim that humanity is made legible through the irreconcilable distinction between humans and blackness is one of the first principles of Afro-pessimism, and it is supported by the argument that blackness is a paradigmatic position. Keep going. Oh.
This is what we've been talking about on Wake and Bake with BeMo all of season 4 so far. Blackness is not, hold on, just say that, what does it say next? Blackness is not just a collection of culture or history or a philosophy that is combined by a biological group of people who look alike. Yeah. Blackness is actually just a caste. It is a position in society, a low position at that. Keep going, sweetheart.
Afro-pessimism implores us to think blackness at a level of abstraction and to think the human as a fetishized form rather than as a universal given.
The human is a fetishized form and not a universal given, which means some people have to work their way up to be human, which means they have already been classified as subhuman. Now, how can we make this make sense? How can we make Afro-pessimism make sense? There is, the most common way I can think about it is this way. Is Africa a continent or a country?
Continent.
We know that.
Yeah.
But the most common misconception is people will call Africa a country.
Right.
And the reason why that's an Afro-pessimistic thought is because it automatically assumes that everybody within this region has the same homogeneous realities, the same philosophy, the same thoughts. We can all treat them the same because this country of Africa, this whole continent, probably the largest continental land except Eurasia, is all one homogeneous situation. Therefore, we can treat them as a subclass, right? Africa is a country. It's not a country. It's a continent. But if we all categorize it as one sovereign state of subclass, then we can all agree that Africa is of this subclass. That is a very highbrow way of thinking about it. But the lady of the house and I, we were smoking weed on the couch over the weekend, and we found a very glaring very glaring example of Afro-Pessimism. By the way, just if you haven't caught on, Afro-Pessimism is also another way of saying old blueprints. We got that? Okay. Later at the house, smoking weed on the couch, we saw a very interesting form of Afro-Pessimism that is more hidden than you would think. Actually, if you had never known the history of this particular practice, you would have thought it was just a practice of capitalism. Sweetheart, go ahead, play the video.
TIP stands for to ensure promptness. Tipping may go back as far as the Roman era, but according to most experts, the practice likely has its origins in medieval Europe.
Noblemen taking passage on roads would throw coins to the rubble to ensure safe passage. One theory is that it evolved in eating and drinking establishments as a way to forestall envy, that when you're eating and drinking, you're having fun, and the people who are serving you are not.
Fast forward to the 19th century, when waiters who received a full wage went on strike demanding higher wages, they were replaced with women who employers could pay less. A decade later, there was the population of newly freed slaves. The idea from these restaurant owners was that they were giving the luxury or privilege of a white person's tips. That was without a full wage.
Ironically, as tipping exploded in the United States, it became less common in Europe and was replaced with service charges.
Sweetheart, did I just hear that tipping as a practice was something that was created out of a result of classism? Here, I have money, you don't. Therefore, I'm going to throw money at you at fun because you need money, and that's the way I separate the class. I heard that, right? Did I also hear that in 1854, there were waiters who were making full-time salaries, and when they asked for more money, they were replaced by women and black folks who thought it would be a privilege to receive white people's money?
But just the tips.
Just the tips, though?
Yeah.
Sweetheart, what color is money?
Green.
If a white man gives me $1 and you give me $1, how many dollars do I have?
2.
Okay, did I get $1.75 from the white man and 25 cents from you, or I got $1 from each? So it's the same money. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's the same money, but somehow this service, this practice of tipping stems from an idea that someone else's money as a surcharge to a service they're already paying for would be not only a financial benefit to you, but also a cultural and social benefit to you as well. And that's called tipping. And they established this system in 1855. 10 years later, niggas became waiters, and the salary for waiters has not changed. The practice and protocols for how people make money in that service has not changed. As almost to say, the waiters in 1854, who I'm pretty sure were white men, deserved full wages because they were white men. Meanwhile, these women and black folks have to make their way up to human by supplementing white money. Tips. This is Afro-Pessimism. This is the belief that a certain group of people, whether they be biologically connected, whether it be philosophically connected, culturally connected, and if we throw slavery in there, you have to erase all that shit anyway, because all of those philosophies and cultures and societal norms between those individual peoples of Africa were deleted in order to fit into this one social caste system that is black. If this system was designed, a system that was designed in 1855 is continuing until 2023, and is at the very base of a service industry in which I think is like, what do they say, I don't want to make up a stat, but it's a lot of people who end up being service people. 1 in 2 people in this house have been a service person before.
Yeah.
Depending on tips. So, what do you think the solution to tipping is? And by solution to tipping, we're gonna use tipping as an example of social caste, but let's just say that anyway. What do you think the solution to tipping is? How do we get a group of laborers to make equitable money based on the service that they provide?
Pay them fair wages. Eradicate the need for tipping.
Exactly. Exactly. The easiest way to eradicate this old blueprint, the easiest way to eradicate this form of Afro-Pessimism, the easiest way to eradicate this inequitable outcome of capitalism and classism is to get rid of it altogether, to pay people a wage based on the service that they make. But Afro-Pessimism is so fucked up, capitalism is so fucked up, this inequitable system of caste is so fucked up that the people who are working in those industries feel like it is an advantage to make these tips. The people who own these industries, restaurant managers and owners, they believe that the most fair way for their business to stay alive is to keep up this inequitable system of tipping. How did a group of individuals get to understand that this particular practice was best for them? The acceptance of white money. Money is not a solution. Money is also not the solution to Afro-Pessimism or to this tipping service, although it ironically is the solution at the same time. But I don't know. It's one of the, when looking up certain aspects of American culture, there are certain things that I'm not surprised about. I'm not surprised at the history of the word cotton picking or red-handed. I'm not surprised that these are based in oppression or based in marginalization or based in a racial discrimination. What does surprise me is things like this right here. I didn't know that tipping came from suffrage and slavery.
Right.
And yet we still have those practices that were there to basically initiate suffrage and slavery or initiate how we treat women in society as inequitable or they don't deserve the same amount of pay. It's funny how we can have a conversation about the wage gap and this thing is just staring us directly in the face, but we can't get rid of it because capitalism says we need to make as much money as possible within these systems. I don't really have much else to say about it, but I just wanted to point it out. Like, Afro-Pessimism is everywhere. It may not appear in just black spaces. It may appear in other spaces. I feel like Afro-Pessimism is another word for old blueprints. Frank B. Wilderson and his crew of Afro-Pessimists, they are not as optimistic as we are on this show. Okay. They don't believe there is a solution to Afro-Pessimism. The world is so the world is so dependent upon the siphoning of resources from the lower class that it would not exist without that siphoning, without the racial caste or the liberation of that racial caste. It's an interesting thought to think about. We have another segment. You know what? This might fit here. Like, what?
What's up?
I feel like this is going to fit into our segment after the break. I feel like this conversation about this conversation of the establishment of the social caste, this thought of this lens of Afro-Pessimism, which is a lens that says that basically the world is depending on blackness to siphon resources from, I think it'll lead into our conversation about Sherwood Forest and how I think I don't want to see white folks no more. I think I'm good. Okay. I think I'm straight. We got any comments? We got any questions? We got any comments? People in the Instagram, everybody join the chat. What's going on?
Well, we got morning y'all from Empress.
Good morning, Empress. How we doing? Good morning.
That's pretty much it. But we got TL, Kel's cooking.
Okay.
I don't know.
Cool.
The twins' uncle.
Hey, twins.
Jay Moselle.
Hey, Jay.
Micah, what's
up? Good morning, man.
JC Cunningham.
Oh, Jossie, what's up, man?
Oh, Jossie.
Pastor Positive. Strong ass. Good gracious. Go ahead.
And Danny.
Danny. Good morning, everyone. Before we take this quick break, I want to remind y'all to go ahead and subscribe to the New Blueprints newsletter. Is an opportunity for you to actually read some of the summations that we make here right here on Who Wake and Bake with BeMo. So go to BeMoBrown.substack.com. If you need the scholarship, it is $5 a month. If you want to subscribe to all the fun readings that we have over there, is $5 a month. But if you need that scholarship, just slide in the DM, shoot me a text, tell me something, okay? I don't want to deprive the people of the knowledge. The New Blueprints newsletter is our attempt to actually maybe get rid of Afro-Pessimism. Maybe we can prove Frank B. Wilderson? I say I'm so dyslexic. Frank B. Wilderson III wrong right there on the New Blueprints newsletter. Maybe we can write a book, Afro-Optimism. But we know it ain't true. That's all right. We're going to be right back. We have a music video from our good friend Nomad the Native. Check him out on all social media platforms, Nomad the Native. We have his music video shot in the small wooden box right here in Washington, D.C. It is called the Antisocial Social Club. Go check that out. Go listen to, what's the name of his tape? What's the purple tape?
Oh, what is
the lavender.
Is it like Purple Haze or something like that? No.
I thought it was like Lavender Days.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick.
He's got an album that's like Lavender.
Yeah.
Go be great in your lavender. Lavender Smoke, Lavender Haze, Lavender J. Make sure y'all go check out Antisocial Social Club on Lavender J by Nomad the Native on all streaming services. Make sure y'all go read. Make sure y'all go watch the video. Antisocial Social Club. We're going to play it right here on Wake and Bake with BeMo. We'll be back with more right after the show, and we'll smoke a nice blunt. We might cut the video off a little earlier because we're dealing with some insight experimentation. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello?
Yo, what's going on with you, brother? I got a party tonight for us to go to. Come ride with me.
Nah, I'm gonna just kick it in the crib tonight.
Nigga, you always do this shit, yo. Come ride with me to this party.
You always ask the same question, but the answer don't change, so I'm gonna just catch you next time. We good, bro.
Check it. Either you come with me to this party, I'm gonna bring the party to you.
Good luck, nigga. My door is locked.
Oh, this motherfucker done hung up on me.
3 hours later.
Yo! Nigga, I know you hear me. You about to go to this party, yo. Come on, yo.
I'ma join the Antisocial Social Club. Hit my phone, you know what's up. Drinking late and everybody know the shit. I be out the mix with the shits. I don't need that. Hit me with the split for the lick and the recap. I'ma join the Antisocial Social Club. Hit my phone, you know what's up. Drinking late and everybody know the shit. I be out the mix with the shits. I don't need that. Hit me with the split, the lick, the recap. I don't know, dog. Sometimes I'm a menace. Call me old dog. Mama ain't raised no show off, but I got the skill. Might as well get the flow off. Stun a little bit, brush them all off. They don't really love me. They just like the idea. That's a oh nah. Oh nah. Certain social circles seem so false. I go off. Friend of me sucking your energy. Enemies trying to get rid of me. People prefer the proximity. I get it, but won't let them limit me. Feel free to keep it private. Nosy niggas wildin', riding through the city like Batman and D&D. My Robin, quiet, phone always on, but the ringer be on silent. I've been trying to stay about the way. I trade my locks for waves. This the kind of vibe you couldn't confiscate. Straight from the source, never concentrate. Take care of my chickens, can't nobody take them off my plate. I should infiltrate the Antisocial Social Club. Hit my phone, you know what's up. Tricky letting everybody know the shit. I be out the mix with the shits. I don't need that. Hit me with the split for the lick and the recap. I'ma join the Antisocial Social Club. Hit my phone, you know what's up. Tricky letting everybody know the shit. I be out the mix with the shits. I don't need that. Hit me with the spliff, the lick, the recap.
Hey, nigga, tryna go out tonight?
Nah, I'm hitting. Y'all be too hot, I be chillin'. You be here for brunch. Right dinner, they call you a villain. Why is that? These niggas fickle pickles, and they be biting like tender fiddles. Might be exciting up in the middle with my niggas when liquor get in the system. But I'm Dutch at your function, I had to split it. Get in this feeling like shit is different, like my routine. I do not act, I don't do scenes. I'm on a roll like a loose leaf. Single me out like a Lucy. I throw up the dudes profusely. Excuse me, this was cool, peace.
Hey Mo, I ain't even gonna hold you, that shit was hitting.
I know, man.
On some like difference of opinion shit, like you came with that one, yo. I be safe, fool.
Alright.
I'll fuck with you.
Peace.
Welcome back to more Wake and Bake with BeMo. Yeah. I see my auntie on the line. What's up, auntie? Huh? Aunt Laverne on the line. Everybody say good morning, Aunt Laverne. How you feeling down in South Carolina? Hope everything is all right.
Good morning.
Hope everything is all right. Hey, meet the lady of the house. This is Imani. Imani is Aunt Laverne. Aunt Laverne, Imani. Aunt Laverne will fuck with you. She wouldn't fuck my language though, sorry. That's a fact. We are back with more Wake and Bake with BeMo. I am struggling to roll with this very little filter.
She said good. She's doing good.
Huh?
She's doing good.
She doing good?
Yeah.
Good. I'm struggling with this little bitty filter. We have a couple more topics that we want to talk about this morning. We just finished up an interesting conversation about Afro-Pessimism and the prevalence, which is basically Afro-Pessimism is the prevalence or the need for black bodies to fulfill this lower caste space so that whiteness in the world can survive. We use the example of tipping, how tipping is a service that comes from slavery. Now, does that mean BeMo was saying, hey, when you go to the Applebee's tonight, don't tip your waiter? That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
Because your waiter need that money. But what I am saying is that it's interesting that there are lobbyists who have been trying to uphold this law of tipping instead of trying to come up with a radical way to pay the workers a service or pay the workers a wage that they think is necessary for life. When the pandemic started, there were a lot of revelations about essential workers that we didn't think existed. When I will never forget this. You remember when the pandemic started, they sent out them letters to all the essential workers that said they could still go outside, but all the essential workers were doctors and nurses. But then, like, everybody and their mama was ordering from DoorDash.
Yeah.
And we realized that probably the most important people outside of doctors and nurses in America during the pandemic were the niggas delivering our food. Yeah. Were the people who would get up and go to work every day, sweat in the hot kitchen with no customers that they could see and still make what they had to make.
Right.
So I'm not saying go out and deprive those people. What I'm saying is I think it's high time that we have a conversation about liberating those folks from a very dangerous and nefarious system that is called tipping. So give your waiter a tip and then show them this clip so they can tell their boss it's time to get this up out of here. But the reason why I feel like this conversation is important about tipping, because tipping is about the establishment of a class or the practices of a high class or of a classist society operating through commercial and capitalistic ways, right? We can see that. I think a lot of y'all can see the direct connection between tipping and the nefarious prospects of capitalism. It was making a lot of noise. That was weird. So the lady in the house and I don't know, I feel like I want to tell the whole story. The lady in the house got a job recently. Now to put your business out there twice now, sweetheart. But the lady in the house got a job, as we're talking about cogs of capitalism. Like a job. I'm not going to say the name of the organization,
like
but
like
it's a career, like a,
Yeah, like benefits and 401k.
Like a job.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about this position is that Imani replaced a dead woman. And I don't mean like, oh, she died a couple years ago and they finally just now got to the point of rehiring somebody. No. From my understanding, if Imani started the job on Friday, the lady died on Monday.
Yeah.
And it was very essential to the organization.
Yeah.
And what was interesting, because, Imani works from home, so I'm hearing the conversations and the conference calls. And so when Imani first joins on to the organization, it was interesting in a very positive way to hear how the workers of our organization were grieving the death of their coworker. I know a lot of us who participate in this capitalistic structure, those of us who are doing the 9-to-5s, even those of us who are doing the entrepreneurism, I know there is a common trope that's like, oh, take your leave because your company don't care about you. Yeah. And to a certain degree, I could say that maybe the company didn't care because they replaced the lady who died with somebody else like 4 days later. So maybe they didn't care. But the cool thing about companies is that companies don't breathe. Like the organization that you work for doesn't have eyes.
Yeah.
So it can't cry. But the people who work for the organization do have eyes, and they did cry. There was one time where Imani was on a conference call, and I think she went to the bathroom real quick, put the camera on mute, the microphone on mute, and I'm sitting on the couch, which is right behind here. She's sitting here, and I'm listening to the individuals of the organization talk about the previous person, and I just started crying. Like there would be conversations where they'd just be sitting there in silence for like long minutes, and just work needed to be done. They operate something that is very time based. You know what I'm saying? It's got deadlines. We got to get it done, which I understand why you get hired on a Friday, lady died on Monday. Shit, we got another thing to produce.
Yeah.
But hearing these people mourn in a real world way brought me solace.
Yeah.
Brought me peace to a certain degree because, the trope is true. Your company don't care because your company don't have emotions. But if you think the people who are around you aren't directly affected by your actions, by your emotions, by your life, this lady worked at this organization for like 20-something years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They saw her get married. They saw her have fights with her husband, move, maybe divorce, maybe write a new book, maybe say F the old book. So many things that you can watch in 20 years of somebody's life. Anyway, this person died. This is a while ago.
Like 6 months ago.
It's like 6 months ago. But over the weekend, they had a memorial service at one of her homes.
Like
or her neighborhood home, childhood home.
Yeah.
If you've seen any white movie about summer camp, this is the place they have it, right? This is the
old money.
Money. I don't even want to say the name of the place because I feel like they're going to find me and be like, why was you on my property?
So remote that like the map, it was just water around and you couldn't even really like pinpoint where it was exactly.
So remote, it took us a long time to get Ubers.
Yeah,
you needed a key code to drive into a gate that had you drive another 6 miles to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But we're there. And I'll say the thing about Imani's organization, that is pretty cool. They are new white people. You know what I mean? They're not the old conservative Jim Crow white people.
Right.
They new 2020 white people.
Right.
They post George Floyd white people.
Yeah.
Which means that they want diverse friends, they want equitable relationships, and they want non-white folks to feel included.
Right.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's not the solution, but it's cool. Until it's not. Right. Because, so Imani and I, we are at, hold on, I'm about to light this blunt because it's about to get real. Imani and I, we are at the memorial service. And as black folks do, I don't know, do all black folks do this? When you go to a place, you go to a new place and you already notice ain't enough black folks, do you start counting the black people? Oh, yeah. You start counting the black people. Imani and I go and we walk into this memorial service late as niggas do. Because white people, it was on time. Let me tell you something. The thing started at 2. We got there at 2:20. They were halfway through the program, okay? Right. They were halfway through the program, okay? Imani and I get there. I notice I'm looking at the back of heads. I'm not seeing any kinky coils.
Yeah.
I count one other black person.
Yeah.
Imani says she saw a black man. I ain't see him. I ain't see him. Imani says there was one black dude there. I ain't see the black dude. So let's say there was half a black man and, well, 1.5 if you count me. 1.5 black man and 2 black women in the whole situation. And
there were a lot of people there.
There were a lot of people there. Full room. Right. Full clubhouse full of people.
People standing, yeah.
And again, these are the new whites. They're in the eulogies. I can hear there's like some anti-Trump rhetoric. There's some pro-Hillary conversations going on. Right. And I'm in my head like, okay, here we go. So Imani and I are sticking out like sore thumbs. And if you know Imani and I, we are black. But we are also very black. Like, we are also like big natural hair, locks, black clothes, very speak blackly, do black things, very black people. And so during the memorial, everything is cool, but directly after the memorial, you start to get, I don't know if you even noticed this, but you start to get the, what are you doing here face. There's the death of a white woman on a private property. She worked for this organization that's majority white, that is doing very white things. Sorry, sweetheart. And there are these two very black people here, and you start to get the face of, what are you doing here? Now, the old whites will just look at you.
Right.
The old whites will look at you. The old whites will circle you. They'll follow you around in the store. You know the old whites. You know the old blueprints.
Yeah.
The new whites, though, this is why I was so ready to fucking go.
Yeah.
The new whites will come and talk to you.
Yeah.
But they not talking to you because they want to talk to you. They talking to you for the same reason the old whites are talking to you. They trying to figure out, why the fuck are you here?
Right.
Why are you here?
And that's the first question they ask you. How'd you know this person?
They're like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how do you know this person?
Right.
I should have lied. I should have been like, that was my mother. I saw You're right, sweetheart. I should have been like, we sold her drugs. We was her weed man. What? Yeah. You didn't know your girl blew down.
Right. Full of surprises.
Full of surprises. The day blew down. But we're in this secluded neighborhood, and I'll be honest with you, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, beautiful.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Oh my God. Houses, beautiful, big, beautiful yards and lawns.
Lots of trees and
distance.
Yeah.
There's golf courses and basketball courts and a full swimming pool with Olympic swimming lanes.
They got a little store on
It's a little store.
Yeah.
You a little broke and go steal from the store.
Right.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
And Imani and I were sitting there, and I'm like, wow, look at this opulence. And the first thought that comes in my mind before we're ready to walk out is, sweetheart, wait, why your laptop not charging? Oh, my laptop not charging.
Oh.
Yeah, hurry up. We're going to lose the show. The lady in the house is breathing. Oh, she's breathing hard. We're running out of time. Will we make it? We made it. So that's the first thing, but as we're waiting for our lift to come for 30 minutes or whatever, I'm sitting there and I'm watching these white people strategically surround us, try to figure out what's going on, try to figure out if we're good people, trying to figure out if we robbing the place. Me and Imani are in our funeral clothes, by the way, which means, we pretty put together for a moment now, like, I'm saying, I got my Timbs on.
We in our loafers.
Legit in our loafers and anklets.
Right.
Couldn't run from the cops if we tried. Right. And we're waiting on the lift. We get in the lift, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm good on white people. I think if I never saw another white person again, I'd be okay. But the question here, sweetheart, remember that time we was asking, can you live without paper?
Yeah.
Let's do this. Can you live without white people? Here's an interesting stat that I saw. Okay. Because I love the stats. You can bring up the stats too if you want to. I think it's can I live without white folks? Okay. Here's an interesting stat that I saw. Metropolitan areas are diversing at a record rate.
Okay.
Just now, when I first moved to DC, I believe that DC was 71% global majority people. Now it is 36%. Wait, it's 36, 46%. 46% white people, 54% global majority folks. That means in the 15 years that I've been here, we have gone from 71% to 54%. We also saw in the pandemic that 100,000 white people fled Washington, D.C. But you know what's interesting about that stat? As metropolitan cities are diversing, you know what's not diversing? White neighborhoods. All white neighborhoods are still growing at the same rate that they were growing in 1950. How? How is the city becoming more diverse, but white neighborhoods are becoming even more secluded?
That's what the gray bars are on the, yeah.
Exactly. These are the stats.
Yeah.
These are the stats that I'm showing. The city is diverse, but the white neighborhoods are even whiter.
Yeah.
Which means white folks are in both places. Damn! So I asked the Wake and Bake with BeMo Nights a serious questions. I'm asking you a serious question, sweetheart. Mm-hmm. Can I live a life completely without white people? Can I not see another white person again and survive in America?
I think it's possible, but at this moment right now, probably not.
Who's closest? What colored person in America is the closest to living completely free of white people? I have a controversial one.
Okay.
They're not going to like it, though, because they're going to say he pandering to white folks all the time.
Who?
Tyler Perry.
That's fair.
Tyler Perry might be, I'm thinking about it now. Hold on. Could Tyler Perry live without white folks? He made it without white folks.
Right.
White folks wouldn't come to see no doggone Medea.
Right.
No Black Baptist church transgendered play about morality and black life. White folks wouldn't go in to see that. Do I want to live a life without white people? Is that racist? You can take the stat down.
Okay.
Because now we're just talking. I was going to talk about something else. But was Monty and I at a memorial for somebody's death. And the only thing I can think about is getting away from these white folks. Is that racist?
I mean, technically no, because you don't have power over them, but...
Oh.
Is it prejudice? I don't know.
Or am I protecting myself?
I feel like it's more so that.
Is this self-defense or is it racism? No, seriously, could I live without white people? I think the people who own this building are white. The people who own the train are white.
Yeah.
The people who own Instagram are white. The people who own Canon are white. Let's see here. The people who own Apple are white. People who own Shure are white. I got a Mingo.
But who makes the...
I don't know. They might be brown. The people who make the actual sweatshirt might be brown, but who designed this person is black. The art behind me is black, but I got it from a white print shop.
I mean, the chair you sitting on is from a white corporation.
It's white. The tripod is white. These lights is white. But can I live without white people? I believe it was Gwendolyn Brooks. It's either Gwendolyn Brooks or another Gwendolyn who's a political scientist. She believed in this theory, another theory I'll tell you about another day, which is called pragmatic nationalism, which is the thought that we could live as we did prior to integration, where we are depending exclusively on black-owned products, and because of our social cast away from whiteness at the time, it would have been impossible to be dependent upon white folks, other than the maybe like industries that were dominated or owned by whiteness, in which black folks over-index in. So that could be transportation, sanitation, etc. I don't know. Would I want? I find it's going to turn into a conversation about what white people do I want to. Oh, okay. So on the first episode of Wake and Bake with BeMo, I told you I was reading. You can grab the book for me, sweetheart, if you can. I got the biography of Walter White. Walter White, not the dude for Breaking Bad, okay, because you missed out. Walter White is one of the founders of the NAACP, who looks like this. Well, I'll show you. I'm not even going to tell you what it looked like. He looked like this, and he claimed to be black. He looked like this, and in the 1900s, he claimed to be black and lived himself as a black man. I haven't started reading the book, But Lady House can attest. I opened it up just to a random paragraph.
Yeah.
And in that random paragraph, it said that Walter White wrote the magazine. He was writing the editor of one of the more popular white magazines of the time in the 1900s. And this paragraph, he just wrote the question of, he was like, I challenge you to deliver me a list of the most impressive white people that have ever existed. Mm-hmm. And the editor of the magazine gave him like Mark Twain and somebody else. But something to the effect that Walter White was basically saying that white greatness doesn't exist. This man who founded the NAACP said that white greatness doesn't exist. So I don't know if I want to give it that. I don't know if I want to give it that, give him that kind of credit. Because I think about like right now, last week we talked about the history of rock or rock and roll, and how when I think about Mick Jagger, I'm actually thinking about
Tina Turner.
Right. Tina Marie was in my head, and I didn't want to say Tina Marie. I don't know why. But when we're talking about Mick Jagger, we're actually talking about the performance style and also the musical styles of Tina Turner. Mm-hmm. They go to Afro-Pessimism again, too. What was we talking about, sweetheart? Can I live without white people? Yeah. Should I not want to live without white people? Is it self-defense? Is it discrimination? Is it self-preservation? Is it fear? I tried to give a white boy a chance. I really did. I really tried. I really tried to give a white boy a chance. He even ran his ads on here. I'll tell you another story about another white boy, not this one. When I go to my father's house in the summertime, I do have friends in Myrtle Beach. Mm-hmm. And at one point I had a group of white friends. Two of them, Laura and Don. Don Culp III, my guy. Don and I would play, what's that game with the guitars?
Guitar Hero.
We would play Guitar Hero. He would play guitar and I play bass. And he asked me, why do you play bass on Guitar Hero? And I was like, because I'm black. Like, I resonate more with the bass line. I'm sorry, brother. Mm. We would drink Rolling Rocks and beers until we got drunk. We were a hell of a beer pong team. Oh my God. Me and Don Cope III. Hell of a beer pong team. But sweetheart, you know, after freshman year at Howard, and you go home, something's different.
Yeah. Something
in you has changed. And I was hanging out with Don, and we had just played football with, and I told the story before, with probably one of the most physically gifted people I've ever witnessed in real life. His name was Charlie. He's now a cop in Wisconsin. Oh, yikes. That's not good. Oh, I just put that together. So we're in Don's truck and we're driving back to his house. The football field is in his neighborhood, so it's like a 2-minute drive. And we're in the car and we just witnessed Charlie do like amazing things with his body on the football field. I have never seen anybody move like that other than like on TV. And Don asked me, he's like, can I say something to you honestly? And I'm nervous because I'm like, oh boy, what's this white man got to say to me honestly? And I'm like, sure, Don, don't offend me now. He was like, I'm not going to offend you. Don says to me, he was like, looked me dead in the face. And he was like, damn, that nigga was fast. Don is white. Don Cope III is white. This is my second to last white friend. He looks at me and he says, damn, that nigga was fast. And says it so smooth. I'm looking at him and he was like, what's up? And I was like, why'd you say that? And he was like, well, he was fast. And I was like, no, why'd you say that? He's like, I thought we were cool. I thought I could speak to you honestly. I thought, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You black. I thought we cool. And I was like, Don, no, man. No, man. We didn't break up then, but the next summer we did break up. We tried to hang out a couple of times. And then I didn't know that I wasn't hanging out with Don's regular friends. The next summer, I hung out with his regular friends from South Carolina, them South Carolina white boys, that he felt comfortable enough that he thought he could just say the N-word to me passively. Oh, wow. Yeah, they wasn't saying it passively. They were saying it aggressively. Whoa. And that would be my last time hanging out with Don Cope III. And I tried to give another white boy a chance. Didn't work. Maybe it's white men. Because Carrie cool. Mm-hmm. Marianne is cool. Who else? Know some other white girls? Yeah, they cool. All right, we got in the comments, sweetheart. Any thoughts on if we can live without white people? Is that a bad thing? Does that mean I got to delete my rock playlist? Don't you want somebody to love? Don't.
Natalie said, hopping on to say power to the people.
Black power.
Baby Blue, that's Camille, right?
Yeah. Camille.
She said, yes, most black people are running the government for real.
Huh. Okay. What else we got?
Empress says it sounded like shit was looking like Get Out. That's what I was saying the whole weekend. Literally the whole day I was like, I feel like
Get Out vibes, baby.
Yeah.
Cause they was about to butter us up, get us drunk on that.
Face,
yo, what was in that limoncello? What did she say was in that limoncello?
Everclear. Yeah, Everclear and vodka. It was good though.
These white people are ridiculous.
I wanted another one.
At the memorial service, when you got out of the memorial, they had shots of limoncello, which was lemon juice, Everclear, and vodka.
Not even lemon juice. It was like lemon, what was it? Lemon zest. So just straight. Yeah.
White people wild, right. Bruh.
And they had like an open bar, which I've never been to.
I've never been to a memorial service where they had an open bar.
Right.
Now, I've never been to a place like this either, though.
Right. Camille says, think back to when we ran our own neighborhoods. We absolutely can live without them.
So since we're in our Afro-Pessimism bag, like, we can live without them, but will they let us?
That's my thing, exactly.
You know, that's the pessimistic thought. I get it now. Oh, wow, I had to talk about it out loud. The pessimistic thought is that we have no control. Mm-hmm. You want to say something?
No, go ahead.
No, I was done.
Oh.
Yeah, the pessimistic part of it is that, like, we don't have the power to change it. And it's even crazier and sadder to think about it, Camille. I'm sorry to put it this way, but like when we had our own, we had to have our own.
Right.
Because there was no alternative. But now we don't have to, and it seems imperative, especially by the new whites, to make sure that we are included in their systems. Lady of the House brought up a great point over the weekend, in which we talked about it on the show before, but when we think about integration, that moment of integration, nobody considered that integration should be white people integrating into black society and not black society integrating into white society.
Exactly.
Somehow we ended up getting bussed across towns instead of white kids getting dropped off at schools. Mm-hmm. Don't understand how that happened. Right. Never mind. I understand how that happened. Afro-pessimism. Thanks, Frank B. Wilderson III. Wilderson. Jesus. What else we got?
No, but to continue that point, I was just thinking about like how not even just black people, but pretty much all minorities always have to say, oh, we need to come together. We need to love one another, you know, brotherly love, that whole thing. It's always been us, and it's never been the other way.
Say it. Say more. Yeah. I got it. It has always been like all the brown people got to stick together against the white individuals.
But also trying to.
Wait, what?
No, like, think of Martin Luther King.
Thinking. Oh, I thought you were going to say more. Sweetheart. I thought you was going to say more.
Yeah.
Okay.
it was always like brown and white, like black and white, you know?
Yeah.
We need to come together.
Yeah.
Never like, it's never been white people like, we need to come together with black people. We've
Oh,
Right.
Are you saying there's been no white formed rainbow coalition?
Yes.
What about him?
He started the or was a founder? I don't know.
Yeah, he founded NAACP.
Yeah, but that's NAACP. Right.
National Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
Not on the behalf of white people because he changed his race to black.
Sweetheart! Has there been no white rainbow coalition? I guess, okay. Not to disagree, but just to push on it to see if we can find a point. Okay. Do politicians not count?
Not for real.
What about brand DEI? Does that count? I think, does that count? Does like bounties let's use a real one. Does Target, because Target, we studied, Target is the best.
Right.
When we talk about the DEI promises that happened after George Floyd, they are statistically, empirically, and you know what I'm saying, quite qualifiably, narratively, anecdotically, the best. Mm-hmm. You take your ass to Target right now, they got some black-owned products in there.
Right.
And without all the hoopla, like, oh, we black owned. They only do that in February. Anyway, and Juneteenth, which is coming around.
Yeah.
Would Target's intentional DEI initiatives count as a white rainbow coalition? The white effort to ingratiate themselves in black culture?
We started to talk about this. I feel like we were saying, what did we say?
I know what we said. That's why I'm getting primed. You see the shoulders is getting primed. Because, like, sadly, unless anybody in the comments like, wait, it's actually, because it might be Target. Hold on. White organizations who are dedicated to ingratiating, to accepting themselves into black culture. We had two examples on the first episode of Wake and Bake with BeMo. We had Scott Adams and we had what's that girl name? Rachel Dolezal. What a light ass we are. But I can't think of institutions. Are there any institutions who are doing the Rachel Dolezal? I know it's got to be one.
That's a good question, though.
Are there institutions that are doing would nonprofits count? I'm thinking about After School All-Stars. I call them bitches out by name. Oh shit. Would an organization who was dedicated to like eradicating poverty or out of school learning, but do them in exclusively black communities, would they be considered the White Rainbow Coalition? Would they be considered an effort for whiteness to fully integrate into black culture instead of trying to meld the two together? And which is always so weird having a conversation about black culture after talking about Afro-Pessimism, which says that black culture is not Friday. Black culture is actually just the lower caste system. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Would these white-based nonprofits who do work in black communities be considered the white, Now, I have an answer. I have a counter argument to it because they are using white dollars to actually just try to eradicate an empathetic feeling of white guilt, not necessarily trying to do the work of solving the issues of a community. But you know, that's another conversation. Yeah. But like on a more macro level, would they count?
I want to say yeah. I mean, you have experience in the nonprofit space, so what do you think? No. We might have to come back to this though. Okay. Yeah.
Because while also trying to form the new Black Brain Trust, I was talking to one of the potential founders, hopefully. She asked me if I was trying to create a new creative theory. And I was like, no, I'm trying to create another NAACP. And so I'm saying that to say, in regards to this White Rainbow Coalition, we talk about whiteness a lot on season 4. I'm liking this. I think we have to define what the work is.
Right.
Right? Because if the work is just the aesthetic of solving Black problems without actually coming up with real solutions, then I don't know if that counts.
Right.
But if the work is the first steps of like, so if the work is not just like a single endpoint of you're doing the best thing for liberation, but it's a process to get to that, then I guess the start point could be mockery and tokenism, I suppose. Those are the first steps to liberation, were mockery. Instead of just being straight out outcast, now we're being mocked, and then we'll be tokenized, and then we'll be falsely represented, and then we'll be presented a false sense of independence, and then finally we'll have our liberation by coming up with independent systems. But that's a great point.
Yeah.
I'll never hear white people saying like, you know what, other than Rachel Dolezal and Adam Scott, which one might be doing the right thing and the other one is definitely doing the wrong thing. Other comments? Okay. And also, you know what it's time for? It's time for the burning questions for the roach.
Okay, so we got a few comments.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Carl Nard says, just tapping in to say...
Carl's a white guy. Oh, my God. Carl, don't fuck it up. Oh, my God. Woo! We found one. Carl, you're the third white friend I've had in a long time. The other two didn't make it. They didn't make it.
He said, miss you, BeMo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's see. Kendall said, good morning. Hey.
Kendall! My man.
Owen said no.
No, wait, no to what? I don't know. You got to put it back in there. Oh, I got the rapping.
Okay. Lauren waved.
Hey, Lauren, what's up? The Hustler?
Yeah.
Nice.
Micah said kinda. Trader Joe's.
Wait, is Trader Joe's his example
of
an organization?
Yeah.
I need to hear more. I need to hear more about TV dinner, the store.
Malik said, nah, that's them getting rid of guilt. I think in reference to
that's nonprofit. Yeah, that's nonprofits.
Mm-hmm. Owen said, eradicating poverty and only focusing on Black communities is the same as the NAACP story.
Are the NAACP and Target doing the same thing? What do you say? Eradicating
poverty and only focusing on Black communities.
Okay, only focusing on Black communities. Yeah. Get out of here, Target.
Right. Micah said also several Catholic and Cooperative Baptist Fellowship organizations.
Missionaries. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Owen said they're not bringing the impoverished class together outside of racial lines.
But hold on. Let me back up. Because TD Jakes introduced a new blueprint. Are the Catholic and missionaries doing the TD Jakes though?
Right.
Because that's I know it's only like 8 months old, but we have to talk about this. TD Jakes might be the Paul Robeson Negro of the Week. That's right. That's what it is. So we're producing the show live, baby. Are they doing the TD Jakes? Tune in on Thursday to find out.
And we can hold our other two for next week.
That's right. Hold on.
We're
going to have forever topics. Okay, we got those topics down. Okay, good point though, Micah. Thanks for bringing it up. See the divine, see what I'm saying? Silver and gold. That was my jam. What are we talking about? Anyway, what else we got? That's it?
You were saying, hold on.
About?
Oh, you said we're gonna talk about it.
We'll talk about it on Thursday. Because are they doing the TD Jakes?
That's pretty much all we got.
All right, for sure. You know what? It's time then. Burning question for the roach. I like it slowed better. I like it slowed down a little better. Could be anything. You know what I'm saying? Today we talked about our escape from white people if we need to do so. And then the first topic we talked about was, as I just clicked away my notes in the most disrespectful way. Wow. Okay. Afro-Pessimism, suffrage, slavery, and classism. Isn't that crazy that tipping comes from suffrage, slavery, and capitalism? The established... Hold on. If we, let's just say we eradicated tipping today, and 21 years from now, we were talking to a 21-year-old, and we were like, hey, at one point in time, there were certain jobs where they didn't pay you a living wage and expected the customer to actually pay your wage. Right. Would that make sense?
Absolutely not.
Wouldn't that 21-year-old be like, that's slavery, right? Wouldn't that 21-year-old be like, you were a slave? Wait a minute. That's not slavery. But that's fucked up.
Ooh, I thought of something, but it's kind of like...
Go ahead, hit it.
Okay,
hit it. We got to get spiked. I need some clips.
Okay, so kind of related to slavery, but...
Nothing. Afro-pessimism breeds conversations of relations to slavery. I'm ready.
I'm thinking about prison, really.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we know the connections.
Mm-hmm.
But what...
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what do we do about... What do we do?
What do we do about prison?
Yeah.
Well, Mark Lamont Hill is actually anti-prison.
Okay.
Like, get rid of jails today.
So what do we do with those people?
Exactly. Exactly. Isn't that such a hard question?
Right.
But like, I know his answers, and I'm going to tell you the answers in a second. But like, it's the perfect thought. Let's get rid of the system. Mm-hmm. Follow-up question. What do we do with what we've been doing with it before?
Right.
I don't know. My father used to say, you are smarter than I don't know. And I agree. Mm-hmm. But that don't change my present situation.
Right.
But we are smart enough to figure it the fuck out. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Yeah. Mark Lamont Hill says we get rid of prison and we immediately replace all those prison systems with the same money that it would take to build the prison system would take the same money it is actually try to reform humans. Okay. So like instead of jails, we could have communities. Mm-hmm. Instead of punitive, we could have reformation. And I know niggas is thinking, but like, niggas gonna do that shit again. It's always gonna be crime. Sure, but why is there crime? Another question. Crime comes at the presence of inequity. Crime comes at the presence of inequity. The highest forms of crime happen in gentrified neighborhoods. Why? Because there is a visual aesthetic of prosperity against the people who are not enjoying that visual aesthetic of prosperity. And so when they have been locked out of a system, people are not going to die instead of eat. So they will eat instead of die. It's really that simple. So if we attack crime, maybe we could also attack jail. If we take away jail, maybe we could also introduce true reform. I don't know. And maybe we could be wrong. And that's also a dangerous thought, that the thing that we could replace what we have now that is also dangerous with something that is more harmful is a valid fear. Yeah. I get it. We let the niggas out of jail. I know the first thought you thinking is, now we just got murderers running up and down the street. Shit, that's my thought too. That's my thought too. You know what I'm saying? And I love a nigga when he go to jail for some bad shit he did. You gotta go to jail. But it's a dangerous thought. It's an interesting thought. It's a thought that we should think about and not just automatically cascade or not automatically categorize as this thing that we call right. Therefore, we have to keep doing it. I think Iyanla, what's her name? Oh my God. Iyanla, she said in that same interview with Ebony K. Brown, she said, I'm looking up my note right now. I can't find the exact note anymore. But essentially, how we were is not bad or wrong. What we've done is not bad or wrong. What we've taught and learned is not bad or wrong. Let's consider that there's a greater possibility and another way to be. What was your question?
Basically, what do we do about prison and jail?
Prison and jail? I don't know. But we got to do something. And maybe we'll talk about Mark Lamont Hill's approach to anti-jail. I heard him talk about it on the podcast with the Brilliant Idiots a long time ago. And I still hear him defend, or I see him defend that point on Twitter every once in a while. But like, there's a very abolitionist stance to be anti-prison, anti-jail. It is a fucked up system. I mean, it does answer a particular social need or a particular social fear, but that does not mean that it is the only answer. I like to think about it. We talked about this several times. I like to think about it in the Monsters, Inc. way, saying the monsters were scaring that little girl because they thought that was the most powerful form of power was fear, until they made her laugh and realized that was 10 times more powerful. Right. What if we just need to do it a different way? We got any comments before we get out of here?
Yeah. Owen said, feels like slavery, damn it.
It does feel like slavery. It looks like slavery.
Yeah, right. Mike Bro Connect said Afro-Pessimism. Real Pac-Man Dre said good morning with the little...
Wait, who said Afro-Pessimism?
Mike Bro Connect.
For sure. Oh, nice. Jennifer. Come on, Afro-Pessimism. She's smart and black. She be in the ground.
Nice.
I think Jennifer is her name. I think, Jennifer, if that's not your name, please don't whoop my ass. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. But I do remember you used to do the, at After School All-Stars, she used to do the, we had an agricultural class for some of the students. Yeah. When they did their own gardens, she did the class for the middle schoolers. So we always appreciated that. I knew she was a radical then.
That's dope.
I was gonna do some black things now. We gonna do some black things in here now.
Okay, Camille says more crisis mental health workers, but then some people are really violent just because.
That's true. Some people are really violent just because. I mean, we got to put them in a cage. Maybe, I don't know. It seems like the right answer to me. I don't know.
For the time being, I guess. I don't know. Malik said, maybe turn jail like foreign jail. I think it's Denmark, more like society rehab.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Here's the... So if we turn jail into society rehab, who's in charge of the indoctrination? Right. Right, exactly. And you know, on that note, we'll be back on Thursday with more Wake and Bake with Tuesday and Thursday, 8 a.m. sharp. Spark you a blunt or even a cart. Wake and Bake with BeMo. Yeah. We're going to leave you with a little video tease of my man Michael's Tone Shade. Make sure y'all check that out on all streaming platforms. I think we have a surprise coming for you very soon when it comes to Tone Shade. But you know, maybe not. Either way, I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Thanks for joining. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe. Come on, y'all. We got to hit the digital. We got to hit the digital likes, man. We got to hit the... See, This is my interpretation of what folks are doing on Wake and Bake with BeMo. I think they smoking their blunt. I think they watching the show. Not even watching, they listening to the show. They brushing their teeth. I think they like, this nigga making good ass points. I disagree. And they have little arguments in their head, and then they get off, and then they have arguments with their friends, and then like they go tell their other friend, and they like, man, this nigga BeMo. Then you percolating conversations through our communities, and I love it. But you ain't hit no like, you ain't no subscribe, you ain't telling nigga what's up, you know what I'm saying? You ain't did nothing, you ain't saying good morning. Just, I want you to know, hold on. It's just me, Cameron, Later House, okay? We did a little, What I need from you is understanding. We need a little love, okay? Reach out and touch your like button. Let me get up out of here. Micah, take us away, man. Good morning.